All right, guys. So today we took no trades. Let me show you guys the account real quick so you think I'm not lying. So here's the account. We have another one set up right now, and this is the 50K combine. We have, as you can see, no trade taken, locked out currently. We just didn't find the trading model we were looking for in like the trade idea. 1 hour time frame, we had a 1 hour sell side imbalance. You can see the market did respect it and it pushed down lower to our sell side objective. We also had our buy side objective, and the market never really met the buy side objective. So eventually here you can see we wanted to see that to then eventually push down lower and target the sell side, or even then we would have preferred a small retracement back up to then move lower. And that market, never gave us that, and it reached for these lows when we did have NQ sweep that low with this candle, and then eventually ES eventually followed up right here. But we did have SMT at that low at one point, and I thought that was going to be the reversal point, but it just never really happened. And the main reason why is because we had a 15-minute sell side imbalance, and we could have taken a trade off of that sell side imbalance with a 1-minute inversion fair value gap on NQ, but I just decided not to take it. And the main reason why was simply due to the fact that we don't have any like 1 hour, inversion confluence being tapped up into. So we do have this inversion fair value gap, but that wasn't, enough of a confluence unless we tapped up into it. For me, this order block, it's nice, but it wasn't tapped up into it. None of this was tapped up into it. And in order for me to trade, I would have wanted to see the market, tap up into it and then eventually start to move lower. If not, have another internal sweep and then eventually move lower. That would have been a preferred, move. So like we sweep once more, boom, and then eventually we have an inversion fair value gap form and we start to continue to the downside right there. Something like that. That would have been better. That would have been more high confluence. That would have been overall more of a better trade for me to take if we retrace into a higher time frame PDRA to give me more confirmation backing it up. So again, I was following my system, following the checklist, everything played out perfectly here. Step 2 and 3 did, but step 1 wasn't there. So, and step 1 is by far one of the most important steps. You can't skip, a certain step. 2. I eventually realized that early on throughout the day that if we don't have, each step playing out perfectly, then eventually I won't take the trade. And eventually we did also have YM did look really well today on the 1 hour time frame. On the 1 hour time frame, we had a 1 hour CRT. We also had a 1 hour sell side imbalance. On the 15-minute time frame, though, we didn't have anything to give us that confirmation that the market was going to move lower. You can see we swept both sides. The market eventually came down, closed below, opened up, retraced into the bearish change in state of delivery here, and then eventually moved down lower. On the 30-minute time frame, we didn't have much confluence other than this candle right here. So the market did sweep this one right here, and you can use this one right there, the 5-minute. You can honestly use a 5-minute change in the state of delivery right here to have your entry, but I just didn't take it. And I was expecting this one to actually hold and push up higher. But this would have been the best trade idea for today. This 5-minute change in the state of delivery, the 1 hour advanced CRT there formed, and this would have been your trade right here. Stops at the high. You can target the CRT low, and it's a negative R, but if you want to aim for a 1-to-1, just slightly below, and you can have your 1-to-1 there for a little dinner right there you can eat later. But yeah, this would have been the best trade. We swept buy side. We formed an internal sweep with the CRT on the 1 hour, and then eventually on the 5-minute change in the state of delivery, and you had a 5-minute sell side imbalance the market retraced up into. Of course, you could have entered here at the change in the state of delivery, which is fine also, but it's really like where the stop loss placement is going to be. And again, you had a time frame align if you're using certain things like this. And then eventually the market moved down lower and it's been chopping ever since. I'm trying to be very, very, confident in the system and in the trade idea that presents itself and taking those type of setups. So again, I'm going to review, I'm going to analyze, and I'm going to be waiting for next week. So again, next week we have pretty much NFP coming out, and that is going to be very, very drastic for the market. So, I'm going to be waiting for that. And Thursday through Wednesday, I might trade. I won't be trying to trade. Majority of the time I'll probably just wait for Friday to give me the high confluence setup. Thursday I'll probably looking for something to trade, maybe not. All right, so here's the main account here. We do have another one, I'll show you that right now, but as of right now we're ending the week at a negative -105. Last week we ended at 1600. This week we had a 15 this month we have a 1500 month, which is not bad, but we blew like 3 accounts this month. So I'm gonna make a video on that on my main channel and upload that here. But this trade was good, but I took partials. Should have never taken partials here. This trade was good also, but we moved the stop to break even way too soon, and we got punished for that. And if we simply held the trade and we believed in the trade idea, we would have won. This trade was a good one, but it was just not trading the system, and we got punished for that. And that's another thing too. Like, I've been really disciplined following the system. I'm about to backtest today, following the system once I finish all my monkey mode protocols. That's another thing too. Like, the trade recaps, I really don't plan on uploading these until like I'm funded, because I really want to prove to myself that I can be a full-time trader. And eventually I'll focus on the content after. You know, content is cool, but I want to focus on trading and the craft itself, and come back to the content side and make better quality videos, and actually be able to teach you guys and understand, you know, like what, you know, problems and adversities, you know, these prop firm traders are going through, and give you guys solid advice to overcome. But right now I'm dealing through that stage. You know, I'm dealing through certain things, have to overcome emotions, psychology, trader management, FOMO, you know, I'm just like dealing with all these things, risk management, you know, and I haven't even got to that from this stage. I haven't even got to a payout. So I feel like I can't give you guys enough advice, even though I want to document the journey. But I'm documenting the journey on another channel, you know, on the main channel with the vlogs and all this other stuff. And I feel like that's way more valuable, as opposed to the trade recaps. Because again, what you do outside of the charts and your journaling, your lesson logs, your weekly reviews, your you know, you're reviewing your trades, you're exercising, you're eating healthy, you're doing all these important things, and you're growing as an individual. And that's what matters more than opposed to, you know, a trade recap, in my honest opinion. But yeah, this month was a really good month on this account. Again, losing trades like this, it isn't worth it. You know, this is the SPX or the YM trade we took. This one we should have never taken this one. And again, if I simply followed the model, I would have passed the account far sooner than I would have anticipated. And again, this is one of the things that is holding me back. Whenever I lose, I'm not following the system. You know, I haven't lost when I'm following the system. Of course, there's certain times where I shouldn't be trading, and I know the system presents itself, but I shouldn't be trading simply due to, like, we have a super high expansion, and I want to catch the retracement. You know, I want to catch the little short move back down, and I know it's not as high probability, and I shouldn't be trading that, but I still trade it. And that's what happened here on this day. The market moved all the way up, and we were trying to short. And you can see here, we long, we short. Majority of the time, we were just trying to short, and we did. We lost. We longed. We flipped it. We lost. Then we started to short, and we won. You know, it wasn't something that I should be proud of at all. I could have blew the account that day. You know, I was really close. I was at 1,500 loss limit, and I just needed an extra 500, and boom, the account would have been gone. As of recently, we've been following the system, sticking to the rules, one trade a day, following the criteria, having the checklist. Implementing the checklist physically here is by far one of the most valuable things I've done all month, because again, I'm looking at the checklist, I'm going through the charts, and I'm like, all right, is this a high probability trade? Like, I have to remind myself what I'm looking for and check it off, you know, like doom, doom, doom. And then eventually have the, you know, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, you know, certain criteria I have to meet, non-negotiables. They have to be in place no matter what. And that's by far valuable, because when I'm hesitating or I'm looking at a trade and I want to take it, I remind myself, if it's not high confluence, I don't take it. If it's high confluence, I take it. And it's following the system. But I still get nervous when I'm in a trade and I'm entering. I'm like, when I'm following the system. And that's why I need to backtest more. I need to like journal the backtesting session too, and just like review it. Honestly, this month I've learned the most. I won't even lie to you. I learned the most about myself mentally, and of course about the system too. There were certain things about this month, especially the last 2 weeks. Boom, 2 weeks. You know, it was beautiful. I want to prove everybody wrong. I want to do this and that. And I started backtesting. I was in, you know, Florida. I was traveling, and I took my laptop backtesting. I was like, man, let me freestyle. Let me see. And this is the other account we bought. We bought it Tuesday afternoon, and then eventually we, you know, started copy trading it with this one. And again, this one we would have had a 1,500 day if we simply didn't sell. Again, entry prices are all the same, but the exits are different, and same thing with the size. We should have just left it, and this would have been a 580, 1,500, 1,600 around there, and we would have passed the account. Or I mean, we would have been very close. We would have been halfway to passing the account. Now we're only up 1.5% basically. So I'm not really worried about the profit target. I'm really worried about following the system, taking high quality setups. And again, the system presented itself around 4 times this week. So we had 4 trades. We had one today, we had one Wednesday, and then eventually one Tuesday, and then Monday we had one. So that's 4 times. And yeah, let me show you guys the trades for this week. So Monday, this was the trade right here. 1 minute time frame, we had a 3-minute inversion for rally gap, 1 minute standard deviations. We could have targeted up here, and again, I was cutting the position right around here. Doom, 540 area. I was cutting it, when in reality I was aiming for up here. We let the full take profit run for the 1 mini, which again, should have been doing that for at least like 2. I should have just sold 1, kept 2% stop loss, let it run, aim for 2%, and we would have been good. In Q, this one we took a break even. Again, following the system, we had a 1 minute 1 minute. No, again, we didn't even enter on the 1 minute. I'm just looking at the 1 minute here though. But on the 1 minute, we swept this high right here on ES, and eventually on NQ, I moved the stop loss, and we got stopped out real quick. Here is the idea. You can see what at like 10 o'clock right there, you can see ES came and like swiped the high. I moved my stop loss to break even. I thought the market was going to reverse this, that, but eventually you can see the market just had a bunch of high resistance form, and it pushed up higher to our target and our objective, which would have been met. This trade would have took around like what, close to like half an hour. So yeah, maybe 40 minutes. 3-minute time frame, we had a 3-minute inversion for early gap, but I marked out the PPR. The market didn't retrace up into it, and it respected it, and it pushed up higher, reaching our target, and eventually it reached this target up here too. That is pretty much really it. In Q loss today, or this one right here, was dumb L. I won't even lie to you. I don't know if I uploaded the video, but yeah, wasn't following the system. Wasn't trading it. No confirmation here on the 15 or 30 minute. Should have not taken it. So yeah, and then eventually this one was that one win, the continuation play, which again I should have just called it a day there, but I was greedy. I wanted more. So yeah, so I failed to meet one of my objectives, which was pass a combine this week. But again, I'm not really trying to rush the process. I'm trying to focus on what I can control. I can't control when I pass a combine. I can't control when I get a payout or when I get funded. But I can't control when I take my A+ setup. I can't control when I show up. I can't control how much work I put in. I can control all those things, and that's all I'm focused on. That's why I'm reviewing every day. I'm reviewing my journal, my playbook, my lesson logs, and all the lessons I'm learning. Today I'm going to backtest. I'm going to do all these important things to help me elevate as a trader, and I'm going to focus mentally on what I can improve on with the psychological aspect too. Yeah, that's basically really it. I really do see myself, achieving great things, having great results again, but it just takes discipline and being consistent. So again, sticking to the rules, and following the system no matter what, and learning and always implementing and refining the system, because we always can improve. And that's basically really it. I'll see you guys next week. Hopefully we're able to pass an account next week, or have better results than this week. It all takes time, and you just have to have faith and be a believer, be confident, be delusional. So yeah.